work continues. The body was chopped in half, fenders were taken off. And, you know, what I've been working on is expanding the frame a little bit. So, front and back, I'm going to open the bed up 24 inches. 12 inches on each side. I've got a brace in, I've do the flooring, and let you know what happens. Please don't have a heart attack when you look at the destruction. So basically, you can look and you can see that I cut the bed in half. Now, the floor had already been replaced with another piece of sheet steel. And so now it's just a matter of framing out what I want as far as the width on the new bed and piecing things back together. So let's see how this works. Okay, so another installment, and where to start? So this is what's patching the floor. You saw the frame in the last video. The fenders welded in, rear side. It's got 35-inch tires on it, so we opened up the wheel well, and everything's going to plan so far. So it's going to be 3 inches at the widest point. It'll be 3 inches less than my JKU Unlimited 4-door Wrangler. So, another installment to come soon. Okay, so the floor's in, as you can see. So, wheel wells have been widened on both sides. So, added 2 feet, 1 foot on each side. It's going to be just narrower than the JKU. Nice and bright out today. Hopefully you can see what's going on here. So we removed the lunette hitch, installed something from Compact Camping Concepts, which was this bracket here. Allows us to put the 2-inch receiver in and extend the tongue, still use the lunette ring. The patch panel's in. You recall there was a big gap there. He used part of the tailgate for that. Welded it in, braced it, and of course grinded the welds off, a little body putty, and it's looking factory, like it came from the damn factory. So hopefully you can see, nice and wide. It's going to be 3 inches narrower than the Jeep at the widest point at the top. The wheels will track almost within the same space as the JKU's wheels. The let me see if I can get a good picture here. So the wheel wells, Northern Tool had fenders, so I took those, modified them, used part of the wall from the side of the trailer, put it on the inside, welded it all up in place, then welded the fender to the bed, if you will, not the floor, but the bed, the wall there. So we've got a nice sturdy wheel well, and we did it with both. Here's a picture of what the inside might look like. It needs to be painted. It's been bed lined. And the last thing we're going to wind up fabbing up somehow is going to be a new tailgate. So pretty happy with everything. Once again, widen the wheel wells. 35-inch tires have plenty of room. So now, instead of being so narrow and so short that I couldn't see it when I towed it behind my Jeep, now I'll be able to see it. I can hold more cargo, It's much more sturdy because adding the wheel wells and welding them to the body stiffened up the walls, even without a tailgate in it. So it's coming together really nice. Okay, nice and bright out today. Hopefully you can see what's going on here. So we removed the lunette hitch, installed something from Compact Camping Concepts, which was this bracket here. Allows us to put the 2-inch receiver in and extend the tongue, still use the lunette ring. The patch panel's in. You recall there was a big gap there. He used part of the tailgate for that. Welded it in, braced it, and of course grinded the welds off. A little body putty, and it's looking factory, like it came from the damn factory. So hopefully you can see, nice and wide. It's going to be 3 inches narrower than the Jeep at the widest point at the top. The wheels will track almost within the same space as the JKU's wheels. Let me see if I can get a good picture here. So the wheel wells, Northern Tool had fenders, so I took those, modified them, used part of the wall from the side of the trailer, put it on the inside, welded it all up in place, then welded the fender to the bed, if you will, not the floor but the bed, the wall there. So we've got a nice sturdy wheel well, and we did it with both. Here's a picture of what the inside might look like. It needs to be painted. It's been bed lined. And the last thing we're going to wind up fabbing up somehow is going to be a new tailgate. So pretty happy with everything. Once again, widen the wheel wells. 35-inch tires have plenty of room. So now, instead of being so narrow and so short that I couldn't see it when I towed it behind my Jeep, now I'll be able to see it. I can hold more cargo. It's much more sturdy because adding the wheel wells and welding them to the body stiffened up the walls, even without a tailgate in it. So it's coming together really nice. Okay, welcome back to another installment. In this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about where we're at today. So, trailer bed has been repainted now. No longer black. Now it has been painted to color match the Jeep. And I'm hoping the sun's not too bright out here so that you can see what's going on. But yeah, overall it's looking pretty good. Walk over here, maybe you can see it a little better with the sunlight on it. And so yeah, it matches the Jeep now. Sorry, the trailer is full of stuff, tools and miscellaneous stuff, but you know, last time we saw the interior it was bed lined. So now it's got a coat of paint on it, just a working coat. And I want to talk about the trailer wheel wells. So they've been welded in completely. They've been welded to the side of the trailer as well as the bed of the trailer, giving it increased stability and rigidity. So it's really strong, even with the tailgate portion cut out. So typically if you cut out the tailgate on one of these bad boys and you leave that gap there, they start to get really flimsy. Some people have to brace them, etc., etc. We didn't have to do that because of the way we re-engineered this. So if I come here and I try and shake the trailer, I shake, the trailer stays stable. There's like no movement. Okay, as you can see, the tailgate's been installed. You know, I've inserted a screenshot of the brackets that we used, cable tie down points, etc. So here's the finished attachment point on the inside of the trailer. For the trailer to close, it's pretty light and simple. I did add a piece of square tubing here, right here, because of the design of this trailer. It's got that lip on the tailgate, so this gives it something more flush to sit up against. Works out pretty good. Let me get down here, and so there's the fabbed up hinge installed. I need to trim the bottom part off, but it's got 3 bolts holding it on. It's attached to the main part of the frame, not the frame that I fabbed out, to give it more stability and rigidity. Same thing on the other side. And I did add a Jeep 2-inch receiver hitch, so I could put an attachment, you know, recovery point here if needed. So that's all in place. Pretty sturdy stuff. So yeah, tailgate's got a coat of black paint on it. Prepping it for painting it to match the rest of the outside, you know, so it color matches my Jeep. But yeah, it comes down nice and sturdy. The truck tailgate cables worked out perfect. Here's a shot of this side. The attachment point here, there, and there. And I'm filming all this on a phone, so, you know, forgive me because I know the video graphics or videography is not very good. But, you know, this is for educational purposes, nothing more. So yeah, the tailgate's basically in place. Next thing I need to do is figure out a latching mechanism. So hold it closed, and that shouldn't be a big deal. Just going to have to be creative. Go to Home Depot, see what kind of latching mechanisms they have that'll work, and kind of go from there. So we are getting close to being done. Sorry about all the crap in the trailer. It's going to get a couple more coats of paint on the inside. Once again, it's already been rhino lined. I'll rhino line the inside of the tailgate, not the outside potentially, and we'll kind of go from there. So I hope you're enjoying the journey like I am. Thanks. Have a good day. Swivels. Top portion right here will attach to a stud that we mount on the back bumper, and then the landing leg just kind of goes up and down on the inside of that. And we'll give you a quick demo here. So as you can see, it's adjustable for almost any height that you want. Okay, and to store it, you just get a pin, and it can stay mounted on the back of the trailer. And then you unpin it, and when you unpin it, if this was up here, as such, when you unpin it, it drops to the ground, and then you put a pin in, and you're stable. Not a big deal. Okay? And it's a lot cheaper to go buy 30 bucks of tubing. If you've got a little welder at home, cut it, mount it, and I know this is the second pair that I've made. I've made a pair for my other M416, and that's how I patterned that one off of an M1101 trailer. That's how their stabilizing jacks come from the military. Of course, theirs are more heavy duty, but you don't need more net for almost anything that you do. All right, thanks. I know the camera works pretty awful. These parts here go like this, and then you take your base plate and weld it on so that you wind up with something more or less like this. So it rotates freely, and this is just the long stabilizing leg. You know, the corner would fit, you know, over the top of it and mount to the trailer over here. So, FYI, you don't have to spend a lot of money if you need to make some stabilizing legs cheaply. Just takes time, effort, like anything else. Okay, so sorry, there's probably some background noise out here. Apologize. So this is where I've mounted the stabilizing legs on my other 416 trailer. So you can see I just used a couple brackets, welded those in place, and then able to use these pins to hold it in place so it won't go anywhere. My other stabilizers out with the other trailer, I used it as a model, of course. No sense recreating the wheel. But by mounting it here, I've got the ability to mount both using those pins. They're pretty much rock stable. They won't go anywhere. They might be a little noisy, but you can always, you know, buy some of that Flex Seal or any of that rubber coating, and that would help with some of the noise. Let me show you what it looks like on the back. I did mount a high left jack on this one as well. So on the back, this is the first one I did, so you can see that the stubby section that we were talking about out front, and we've got the pin. So you'd put that L-shaped bracket on here and then insert the long section, and you can see it's going to work pretty good. Let me show you what it would look like on the M1101 that I used as a model. So here's the M1101. That's where they mount their stabilizing legs, and you can see they're pretty humongous for this size trailer. So love this trailer. Tongue weight's just too much for what I want to put on the Jeep, so that's why I'm converting that other 416. And then you come back here in the stabilizing leg, you can see, you know, the same basic premise. There's a nub under here. They use a pin here. This is the L-shaped bracket, and then here's the other part of the stabilizing leg. And it gives you quite a bit of control over the size and, you know, how you want to deal with it. Alright folks, this is the last installment, I think. Project's almost done. Bad thing about projects is they evolve. They never really end. So this is the M416 trailer that I widened by approximately a foot on each side so that it has more towing capacity, as well as I can see it better behind my Jeep. So just kind of go over everything that's happened. So, excuse me. We put 35-inch mud terrain tires on it. We opened up the wheel well with the cut and fold method so that the 35-inch tires would fit. It's got wheel spacer adapters on it to match the 5.5 lug pattern. The trailer has been painted to match my Jeep. So, steel blue metallic. Decals came off of Amazon. So anyone that's followed the build kind of knows what's happened to this point. Cut the bed out. Cut the sides of the bed in half, basically. Extended it by 2 feet. Have a little more touch-up work to do. We extended the tongue on the trailer, and we bought an adapter from Compact Camping Solutions to make the lunette ring be able to accept a 2-inch receiver. And that part is right here. It's a bolt-on application. You can see it in the other videos. We've extended the tongue, kept the lunette ring. Mounted brackets for the stabilizers that I scratch built. That's in the video previously as well. We've mounted some jerry can holders that you can either put Scepter water cans in or Wavian gas cans. These are the Smittybilt jerry can holders. Over here we just added a ammo can to give us some storage up front. Here's the other side. And as we come to the back, you're going to see the stabilizing jacks that have been made. A very simple design. And you can see that we welded on a nub here. Okay, and then there's an L shape that we created. And then basically this piece slides up and down. Take my pin out. You can see that it goes up and down. And then you just insert the pin back into the stabilizing jack, and it'll lock it in place. I only got 2 hands, so one of them's holding the phone to record this, so I'm not going to mess with that too much. Lighting basically has been put on. Everything works. I used an M101, an M1101 tailgate, and just created some really easy latches here. So welded it all on both sides. Here's a stabilizing jack again. So this one's not all the way down. So if I was to pull up somewhere and I'd attach it, you know, you just pull the pin, it drops to wherever you need it. You throw the pin back in, lock it in place, and you're stabilized. Okay, so that's the front panel where we were able to widen the trailer. We've welded in the wheel wells. We've painted it. We've rhino lined it. Like I said, I think we're basically done until I can think of something else I want to do with it. And as you guys all know, that always happens. You always think of something else. One other thing, I put a latch on here because when I put water cans on there, I'm going to strap it, and that's just going to tie everything down instead of 3 separate straps. And it does have a locking nub on it, so it's all good. I think that's it for the time being. So I hope you've enjoyed the journey. Kind of liking where it wound up. Everything seems to work the way I wanted it to. Pretty happy. Let me know what you think. Appreciate your comments. Have a great day.